All right, starting e-collar conditioning. We've already done leash stuff, so he's just not driving forward. So I'm holding down the button. I'm gonna go a little higher. There we go. So you see his head turn and him kind of start to scratch. So that was a 13. I'm gonna go back down to a 10, which he ignored before, because when he's sniffing, he's working much higher. I'm gonna just do that's a tap. So we're just doing this warm up of turns. And if he turns with me quickly, it's just a quick tap. If he turns with me without me needing to do anything, like he's not distracted, he's like really clued into me, then I'm not using it. So I actually held it down a little bit and added leash guidance. Some dogs will have very different reactions to it. He's just scratching it because it itches. It's like a low level stimulation. It's like a bug landing on you walking around. So it's kind of itchy. So he's driving forward, on the button, off the button, on, off. Good. Looks like he's going to be a scratcher. I'm going to scroll down just a little. I'm going to go down to an 8. I gave him a little pop of the leash that time to keep him moving. Driving forward, on the button, guidance, off. Now, there's different types of guidance. There's leash guidance, body language guidance, which he doesn't listen to yet, so that doesn't really count for him, and verbal. So we have been using more verbals with him than I do a lot of dogs because it just helps him. So let's go. Good. So that was a little bit of leash guidance because the leash went taut, as well as a verbal let's go. I have noticed that with adolescent dogs like him, adding in more verbal, puppies and adolescent dogs, I add in more verbal than normal because it helps them. Especially if they're not the breed of dog or just a temperament of dog that's more naturally in tune with body language. Let's go. Good. So you saw me on, off. That was just a quick tap because he turned with me so well. He's not totally disengaged from me. See him driving forward, on, leash, off. I would have scrolled up a little on that one because he hesitated if I'd had another hand, but I'm filming. Because I'm always searching for lowest level possible to get his attention. So if I lowball him all the time, if I'm too low all the time, he'll just learn to tune it out. I don't want to be too hot either, right? So I know that an 8's not going to cut it. I'm going to go to an 11. On the button, let's go. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. There we go. Whoa! 20, 25. Let's go. I'd say when he's sniffing, those levels change quick. I'm going to scroll way back down to my 10. I didn't tap there. He's very in tune with that turn. But yeah, hopefully this kind of makes sense for you guys for getting a feel for the dog. If I had a border collie or a Malinois, German Shepherd, those types of breeds, even young breeds, let's go. That was on the button. I'm much less verbal because it tends to on the button, off, on the button, off, on the button, off. I'm much less verbal because, let me just stop and explain that real quick. Sit. Good job, buddy. Good sit. Because more verbal tends to amp up dogs that are super in tune with body language, and it kills your calm training that you're trying to do, calm family dog training. Because literally with those dogs, I just shift my hips back and they're already about to turn just because they're so sensitive to body language. This knucklehead is not. So we're doing more verbal. So it's verbal and leash rather than body language and leash guidance. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You don't want to over communicate with your dog, so you're always looking for different communications to pull. For him, he doesn't pay attention to body language, so I'm adding verbal. For a dog that's way more naturally in tune with body language, I'm not going to do as much verbal because it's too much communication, gets him amped up. All right, let's go. And again, this is just one phase of training. It's not like I'm never teaching verbals to a dog like that. Let's go. Off the button, good. Let's go. Scroll up, scroll up. Nope. make him work through it a bit. So when he kind of freezes up and scratches like that, I did go off the button initially, but because he continued to freeze up, I went on the button again and added stronger leash guidance. So instead of just tension on the leash, I actually increased my, like I'll show you with sit, increased pressure, right? It wasn't just a little bit taut for guidance. I actually increased pressure. Let's go, bud. With a little bit of pulling, you could say, to help him work through what to do with the stimulation, because he doesn't know, do you? You don't know. Let me scroll back down again. Very important. Back to an 8 on the butt. Good boy. Being more sensitive to it now, so I need to scroll down again. I'm gonna go down to a 5. Just a quick tap. Good, that's a 5. Good job, buddy. So you see how your levels need to change depending on the sensitivity of the dog. I had to have a higher level for sniffing. That made him more sensitive to it in general. So I need to adapt and go lower till we come across another distraction. All right, anyway, guys, these are the first steps of e-collar training for teaching a dog to walk loosely on a leash. This isn't heel yet. This is just loose leash walking with me. I call it let's go work, which can be done on a 6-foot leash or a 20-foot leash. It doesn't matter. It's just walk with me without driving forward. And then sometimes naturally they start to put themselves in heel. And then that's when you start working on heel. But that's a different video.